this started in our family. It started when my father identified that all of this management, direction, and controlling us children. He looked into my 19-year-old brother at the time, the oldest of all of us, and he realized he did a little too much of it. And when he asked him, "What do you want to do for your future?" he looked in his eyes and he saw blank, and it scared him. And that's when they start to implement this idea that maybe we need to give them more freedom. Maybe we need to let them make their own choices when they're young. And if it wasn't for my mom to agree with that, we never would have been given that freedom to develop and to grow on our own into what we've been able to do today. So thank you so much, Mom. Now, these concepts are very simple, but they're very counterintuitive. And I don't want to take up too much time because really this is for your children tonight. But I wanted to allow you as a parents to kind of get an idea of what we taught them. So I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. It's not meant to tell you everything. But first, we taught your kids that they don't know anything and they can't trust their mind. We took them through prominent psychologists and what they found out. You can't see well, you don't remember well, you make up stuff, you can't pay attention, and you don't process very well. But what we taught the kids is that really life is very simple. It's just about becoming very understanding and observant of what's going on. So really the purpose of life is to change. It doesn't matter what you change, as long as you change something, because those people who change will always become great at what they do. Now, the issue here is that life is very complex. And people thought that it's good to make people to think. What we found out, it's not. We should not be thinking. Now, this is very counterintuitive. What we tell people is, look, this is what we call dominant. Dominant is what? It's where everybody can see the same thing without any training or expertise. Everyone knows if I release it, it's going to drop to the ground. This is what we call simple as well. When you know a lot, things become simple. When you're an expert at something, it's simple. No one has to think what's going to happen if I release it. Everybody knows. What we tell the children is, just do what you know. Whenever you have to think about something, what should you do? You should find an expert. So we told them, look, if you know what's going to happen, there's no decision to make. You only have to make a decision when you don't know. So we told them, if you ever find yourself not understanding something because it's complex, if you ever have to make a decision in your life, what should you do? Go find someone who knows. Utilize the expertise of other people around you, and it will make life go so much easier. There are thousands of engineers, of doctors, of medical professionals graduating every year. There are thousands of people getting their degrees from college every year. But there are very few of those people who know how to utilize and find jobs for those people graduating. What we want your students to be able to do is be the one who can utilize other people to add value to society. And of course, in order to do this, you need to know that life is not random. Everything is cause and effect. Even though it seems like it's complex and things are happening by random, we find that whenever we get more information about an event, there's always a reason. This goes as much for natural law, such as gravity, that allows us to predict the future, as it does for everything that happens in your life. If there are issues in your life, if things are happening, we don't want people to think they don't have control to change that. If things happen by random and by chance, then you're stuck there. But if things are cause and effect, then you actually have the ability to change your life. And that's what we hope your kids understood as they went through. That natural laws govern reality, which means you have the ability to change your life. There's always a reason for something. Of course, you are in control. Now, this is a very tough topic, and there's a lot of debate going over it. But can another person come into your life and impact your life? What we're proposing to the kids is no. that your environment doesn't shape you to being who you are. You actually determine what your environment is. And this is how we relate it to your kids. First, if you don't believe it, that's fine. Because in this course, we believe in no influence, so whatever you come up with is the right answer. Second, if you look at the characteristics of the two sides, if you are a business owner, who would you rather hire? And of course, you'd hire the left-hand side, the people who plan, the people who are accountable. Which side do you have more risk? Of course, it's the right side. We find that concepts that are correct minimize your risk and increase your success. So even if you don't believe it, if you act as if it's correct, that your life will be a lot more successful for you. And of course, everyone's unique. Many children, because they see what they're doing, they might get bad grades. They might do something that was a drastic mistake, that caused them ridicule, that made it seem like it destroyed their life. But what we tell them is there are no mistakes in life. Everybody is unique, hence everybody has a different path to take. You might think it was a mistake, but in reality, it's the path you needed to be able to get to where you're going. I have seen this a lot in my life. If there's one thing I hope you come away with, it's always have hope. Because even if you think it was bad, it's going to end up for your benefit in the end. And of course, if that's the case, then you are the most important thing in this life. It is not us teachers, it's you as the students. The issue is people don't know who they are. So what we hope we taught your students or your children is that they are their environment. Their environment represents who they are. So if they are to find out who they are, instead of just sitting in the room thinking, who am I, which doesn't lead anywhere, go out and service the people around you. As you learn who's on your molecule and who's around you, you will learn who you are. And of course, as some of the presenters showed, Morgan, the extremes. We do not want to take two things that are very similar. It takes too much information. So we take the extremes so the students can see the great difference. And once you know the difference, you know the direction you should go in. And this is kind of, in a nutshell, what your students learned this week. Hey, thank you so much. Hope you guys are having a great night. I'm going to turn it back over to them.